What's going on, guys? Alex here with your weekly fishing report, and we got a lot of stuff to cover this week. The bite continues. Outstanding bite for striped bass, as you guys can see out there. It's one for the ages pretty much right now. It's been years since we had this happen, and everybody got on them this week. With those, partly cloudy conditions, we had a lot of fish rolling on top. You couldn't miss them. They were everywhere. And your range was pretty much from like Poplar Island to, south, pretty much anywhere you could go towards Point Lookout. But most guys were staying between Poplar Island and Chesapeake Beach and a little bit south of there towards the power plant. But once again, there was no missing them. Today, out there, conditions changed a little bit. We got more sunny skies and whatnot, so a little bit more finicky, but those fish are there. They're not leaving. There's plenty of bait out there, and the biggest ticket right now is going to be obviously getting out there on a moving tide, having some sort of current, and finding those fish. Of course, we're still chasing birds, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to do that the whole time, guys. Remember, just because there's some birds there doesn't mean those fish are going to be all stacked up there. You can always find them on the outsides of the birds or around channel edges just by making long drifts. The ticket right now is going to be pretty much having those bigger profile baits, anywhere from your 5 to 10-inch baits. I mean, everything works right now. One thing we've been doing is, since we were fishing a little bit deeper water, anywhere from like 40 at times to like 60 plus foot of water, doesn't mean that those fish are on the bottom. Sometimes they're suspended when they pop up with those, feeding on those bunker. And what you want to do is throw like a 1 to a 2 ounce jig head, 1.5, cast it out, let it sink for a few seconds, and just reel it and kind of jig it a little bit as you're working it back towards you. Sometimes they'll commit to top water, sometimes they won't. So have some top water baits ready, some of the bigger profile, spooks like the 6 to 8-inch profile ones, and some of your bigger poppers. Other than that, carry those metals. Whenever you're not finding fish, on birds, or you can find some on, small pockets of them on the ledges. Metals work great, and having anywhere from like a 2 to 3 ounce metal that you can get to the bottom pretty quick will work great. This week's upcoming week looks kind of good, a little bit more windy, but not as bad. Selective days. It seems like by the end of next week we have some rain again and some cloudy conditions, which striped bass love that. So we should continue to see some of these great conditions with this great bite going on into the new year here in the next week. So remember, stock up with all your stuff. Everything's running out as we speak, since everybody wants to get out there. Other than that, remember, I know we're all distracted with the striped bass, but there's other stuff going on too right now. One of them is, if it gets a little too windy out there for you to go out, stay in the creeks, pickerel fish. It's not too difficult to find them. Throw some sort of, paddle tail, jerkbait, or a little inline spinner around the docks. Any kind of structure around the shoreline, you guys should find them. Also, if you want to take the kids out there, get some minnows, throw some bobbers out there with a minnow, and you'll catch some yellow perch and some pickerel, especially if you're fishing Severn, Magothy, and some of the creeks off the Patapsco River right now. For you guys from the Eastern Shore, all these ponds and lakes and whatnot are still pretty hot right now, and not just meaning like the fishing side, the actual water temperature is still really warm out there. So you're going to be producing some, bass, crappie, any kind of panfish out there, and some pickerel too. So get out there. There's still plenty to do. And other than that, remember the catfishing. If you just want to sit out there, cast some chunks of bait, throw them out there. Anywhere from, pretty much up a taps going up will be a good area to kind of chunk some bait out there. And for you guys surf fishing, I know I've been getting a lot of questions about guys fishing from the shoreline for these big rockfish. It's doable. Haven't really heard of many people trying right now, but if you're willing to go out there either at Sandy Point in the evening and cast some chunk baits, go to Chesapeake Beach, somewhere around that area down there, and cast some plugs or even some chunks of bait. Anywhere where you can fish right now, south of the Bay Bridge or around the Bay Bridge will be worth it to sit out there for a few hours, because those fish will push shallow, and this is a time to get them. So kind of fish are like the springtime. I don't see many guys doing it out there right now, but you guys should be getting out and doing this, especially also at the Narrows. You never know when those fish are going to go through there. So get out there, throw some plugs, throw some chunks, sit out there for a little while, and just, you know, if you're not out there, you won't know. You won't catch them sitting in the couch. So get out there, guys. This is it for your fishing report, and we'll see you guys next week.